Tonight on the Black Channel. Despite their best efforts to the contrary, the mainstream media and all of their flunkies have failed to be able to hide the fact that Biden has lost his black support exactly the way we told you it would happen. The Black Channel is live. Unapologetic, unadulterated, and absolutely uncompromising. Greetings, brothers and sisters from around the world, and welcome back to the home, the haven, the stronghold, and the everlasting super fortress of intelligent black thought. We are the Black Media, and this is the Black Channel, and I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the voice of Black America, the Black Authority, broadcasting to you live from the only historically black college and university of higher education and learning in the cosmos. Speaking of HBCUs, got a few words about that tonight. You are, of course, welcome to join us. And join us you shall, because on tonight's program, I have spent over a decade here educating you. And there's a bit of a primer we need to do here first. I have spent the better part of a decade explaining to you who we are, what we are, why we do what we do, what makes us important, what makes us different, why it is that this isn't just a cool place to hang out at, why it is that we are a true media apparatus. One of the hallmarks of having a media apparatus, a true media apparatus, is that it has the ability to communicate to a large number of people simultaneously. But furthermore, it is able to give you accurate, reliable, practical insight and analysis you can't get anywhere else. And when you have actual insight, what that means is that sometimes you have an apparatus that will be able to point out to you on a consistently accurate basis that the version of events you're being given by other outlets is wrong, in error, either because those other outlets are deliberately misleading you or because those other outlets are incompetent. Either way, that's what it is. And that is what we have done here. That's why we had to point out things like the Zimmerman trial, like the Geiger trial, like the 2016 election, like 2022, the Virginia election in 2021. There's a reason why we pointed these things out to you. Whereas other people were getting it consistently wrong, we were getting it consistently right. Now, last night I did a program where we were discussing, and they keep coming back to South Carolina. The white media has spent the last year and a half, 2 years trying to convince everybody that black folk just love Biden. Everything is great. It's all in the bag. And that black folk are only concerned about whatever these folks tell them it is. And that is why we have told them, no. If you want your finger to be on the pulse of what black people think, you have to be here for it. If you want to know what they really prioritize, you have to be here. But I've also warned you all that if you are waiting for the headline that says corporate media outlets wrong and in error, black media has the correct insights. If you're waiting for that to occur, you're going to die waiting on that, because they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. Now, last night, I was talking to you about these media outlets who were telling us that, black vote in South Carolina, they were talking about that. NBC News was talking about that. But now we're noticing that folks are focusing on it again because there are polls coming out, but there's something new I wanted to point out to you. There's something new, and I felt that it would be remiss of me if I did not go ahead and do that. So let me point out to you, there's something new going on here. From the Associated Press, Meg Kennard, Tom Foreman Jr., Black Democrats in South Carolina giving Biden mixed reviews. Now, I want you to listen to what's being said here. And I want to show you what's being said. Now, you can see here where it's telling you Joe Biden's run for the Democratic presidential nomination was all but declared dead as he headed to the South Carolina primary in late February 2020. He had finished 5th in New Hampshire and 4th in Iowa. Still, Biden advised skeptics to withhold judgment until a state with a large pool of black voters, the most reliable Democratic constituency, had a chance to weigh in. Quote, too often your loyalty, your commitment, your support for this party has been taken for granted, he said. I give you my word. As a Biden, I give you my word as a Biden that I never, ever, ever will. That didn't age so well now, did it? Black voters delivered, recasting the Democratic contest and sending Biden on his way to the White House. Let's hear it for the Negro bootlicks. That old Negro bootlick generation, boy, I'm telling you, never get tired of getting their asses kicked by the boots they lick. Never get tired of it. However, hang on tight. Now, 1 year into his presidency, Biden is hoping he can maintain the support of black voters, even as his failure to deliver on voting rights legislation and other issues has left some loyalists dispirited. Now, this is the part I wanted you to see right there. This is the part I want us to dig into here. Because this is why your corporate media outlets, your white media outlets, they don't want to talk about this. They've been trying to tell everybody that everything black folks are concerned about is, well, Biden wants to do something for voting rights and John Lewis, and that's what black folks is concerned about. Black folks is concerned about more of us coming out, being able to come out and vote. We ain't worried about anything else. We just want the rights to vote. Is what we want right there, is rights to votes. When black folk have been screaming, well, what black people have been talking about for years now, the Biden administration has now admitted they're against. If you tuned in last night's program, you heard Jen Psaki outright say that Joe Biden has never been in support of defunding the police. And in fact, that he wants the police funding to be, he wants to give more funding to police than even Donald Trump did. When you take a look at the article here, I want to bring you this part where it says, even as his failure to deliver on voting rights legislation and other issues. Well, what do they mean by these other issues? Here's what they mean by other issues. Well, isn't this interesting? So you mean the Associated Press and all of these Democrat media outlets know full damn well that black folk ain't talking about no damn voting, John Lewis Voting Rights Act. They know full well black folk aren't talking about that. Black folk are talking about something else. They know full well what we're talking about. What do you know? When they say other issues, they keep burying that, knowing full damn well, oh no, this is the stuff black folk been talking about. This is about playing a game on us. They're trying to program us into prioritizing whatever it is they're serving. That we're telling them what we want to eat, and they're telling us, you'll eat what's on the menu. And black folk are bowing out. So the Associated Press is even conceding, yeah, we know what it is black people actually want. Yeah, we don't want to talk about that. We want to talk about what we want to discuss, which is a phony ass so-called voting rights bill, which is really to give illegal aliens the right, give buffer classes the vote so that they can displace that black vote while telling us that this is about black people. So don't be deceived. Everything that we have told you, yes, they are plugged in, they are tuned in, and this is about propaganda and deceiving the masses. This is about telling them that everything that we've been telling them we want, and we have to have, oh, that's not really what black folk want. They're concerned about something else. No, it isn't. And they know exactly what it is. So when they're talking about other issues, they went straight to the police, which means white supremacists in law enforcement and the court system. And of course, reparations, which they're going to try to pretend doesn't exist until the very last minute. When they start having their town halls and things, watch for reparations to make a comeback. And they're not going to like that. My prediction is what they're going to do is they're going to take a play out of the white supremacists right-wing playbook and tell you that anybody talking about reparations is woke. It's going to be the Democrats doing it. The Democrats are going to be the ones telling you that anybody talking about reparations, that's being woke. And that being woke is a bad thing. That's what they're going to tell you. Being woke. They're going to start talking like the alt-right, like Richard Spencer, like these alt-right dudes on YouTube. They're going to tell you that being woke is bad now. Being woke is bad, and anybody talking about reparations is woke. Well, let me tell you something right now. I'm wide the hell awoke. Cut the check. No, I ain't sleeping my way through the bank lobby. I'm wide the hell awake. Cut the check. We ain't just wide awake, we wide awoke. Cut the check. Now they go on to say here, of the many challenges he confronts as he enters his second year, few are as important as retaining the strong backing from his party's base. Now you notice how they keep using this trick language here. They keep using black and the party's base interchangeably. They keep saying that while completely ignoring our issues. And that's the game that they've always used. They acknowledge our existence while ignoring the existence of our issues. They say just 6 in 10 black Americans said they approved of Biden in a recent poll by the Associated Press NORC Center of Public Affairs Research. Down from about 9 in 10 who approved in polls conducted through the first 6 months of Biden's presidency. I want you all to listen very carefully because this is a bombshell. Let's be very, very clear. This is a bombshell. Dropped right in their laps, which is why I was focusing on this last night, which is why this is so important. To anybody talking about, well, where are black folk at? And, oh, black folks just love Biden and ski-wee and bowling ball, rolling ball Martin understands what black folk are thinking. Does this look like rolling ball, bowling ball Martin understands? Does this look like black folk are walking lockstep in that? Just 6 in 10. A little over 50%, just 6 in 10 black Americans said they approved of Biden. Now, it was 9 in 10. That has fallen in less than a year to 6 in 10. It was over 90%, now it's 60%. And this didn't take no 3 or 4 damn years. This took a matter of months. So all the Biden butt kissers, the Kamala Harris hoes, all the Democrat dimwits, all those people who were sitting up here and they just knew old Biden was going to deliver the goods. Old Jimbo Jangles was sitting up here letting you know they're going to deliver the goods. Don't listen to that black media. They don't represent anybody. They were telling you the new black media doesn't represent anyone. Why, didn't Biden win the election? Keep your eye on that. Didn't Biden squeak by in the election? Isn't that what they told you? Understand that. They told you the 2020 election. Well, didn't Biden win the election? See, it's home free. Nobody's listening to them over there. I got the light of day to shine on you now. Yeah, they're keeping up with the numbers here. It doesn't look bad. It looks disastrous. Everything that they are telling you, everything that they said, all this happy talk that they were trying to drop on you before, telling you that everything was all right. We were the only ones telling you, no, it is not all right, and that the fundamental math of the equation has not changed. Do you remember that? We told you that the fundamental mathematics of the equation has not changed. And this microphone has remained consistent about that. We have remained consistent about that now for over a year. We never altered what we said, which was that the fundamental mathematics have not changed. And guess what? At this late date now, see, the elections are a different matter now. You all remember, there were a bunch of folks, if you want to know why you need a true black media apparatus that can actually analyze these issues, go real wonkish and go real data and analysis and go into this act and give you accurate analysis. This is the reason why. If you all remember last year, I told y'all, all the folks talking about, well, Biden wants to sit up here and screw people over and talk about COVID mandates and all this old crap. And remember, I told you all, I said, oh no, he's going to back off of that in 2022. When we get to 2022, all this stuff about threatening your job and everybody got to be vaccinated, I told you he's going to back off of that in 2022. I didn't just say he was going to back off of it. I told you exactly when he was going to back off of it, and I told you exactly why he was going to back off of it. I told you he was going to back off of it because of the election. Now, first, the Supreme Court put the smackdown on it. But even if they hadn't, Biden, I told you all, Biden is going to get in 2022 and he's going to tell you, oh, everything's fine. Virus is under control. Everything's great. Vote for us. Remember? I said, I don't give a damn if they got so many COVID patients that they're sitting them outside the hospitals on the street corners with drip bags in front of Circle K. Remember? I told you that. I told you that. And lo and behold, there it is. There it is. I told you that was going to happen. I said that last year, and sure enough, Biden is now saying everything I said, which is, oh, the virus is under control. Everything's going great. We're doing just fine. Vote for us. 2022. Well, guess what? The media understands this as well. Now that you could lie when there wasn't an election going on, when no one was able to cast a vote to let you know what they really think of what you were doing. Well, you could lie then. You can't lie now. You can't lie now anymore. Jimbo Jangles can't give you plausible deniability. You can't lie anymore now. And now that we're entering an election year, all of a sudden now, they're concerned about polls. They're concerned about what people think. And all of a sudden, the narrative from the corporate media outlets has changed to, black folk ain't cool on Biden. Isn't this amazing? Because 30 days ago, they weren't talking like this. Only this microphone was speaking that way. Now here comes the Associated Press and CNN and NBC and all the rest of them. What we've been saying since the election of 2020, now all of them are coming and saying it now. They're now confirming what I've said, which is the fundamental math has not changed. As a matter of fact, if it has changed, it's only because it's gotten worse. But the fundamental math hasn't altered. Their article goes on to say, quote, I'm perplexed. At some points, I'm angry. I'm trying to see if there is anything redeeming, said George Hart 73. A professor and faculty advisor to the student chapter of the NAACP at Benedict College, an historically black institution in Columbia. I'm just so disillusioned, I don't know what to say, people. That critical, crucial 70 to coffin bearing demographic that the Democrats have been holding on to here for dear life for so long because there are no new voters coming in. They're holding on to their octogenarians, septuagenarians, centenarians. They're holding on to everything. Yeah, they're camped outside the hospices. Let's make sure it would count every vote. Yeah, because there are no new voters coming to your rescue. And they're letting you know, we're in full desperation mode now. Full desperation mode. Yeah, it ain't looking so great. When the elderly constituency is telling you, I don't even know, I'm angry, I don't know what the hell I'm doing here, you're in trouble. When the elderly constituency is now saying, you know what, I can't support nor defend this bull jive, you are in trouble. In the chat room, you said, vote for oxygen tanks. All right. That's their priority. The guy goes on to say, quote, he let so much happen from the time he became president to the time he actually introduced the measure, it was lost, said Hart, who supported Biden in South Carolina's primary. And we are the ones, African Americans, black voters, who are going to pay the penalties. Hart's was not a universal view in interviews with black voters in South Carolina last week, but it is a worrisome sign for a president whose approval ratings are near record lows. Did you hear that right there? So the Associated Press is still trying to pull the bull jive that folks who don't approve of Biden, well, it's not a universal view. It doesn't have to be universal. It doesn't have to be universal. It simply needs to be enough that you cannot win. This is like saying, well, we paid you. It's like the rent being due and some jackass telling you, well, we paid you most of your paycheck. Okay, hold on a second. My rent is $1,800 a month. My paycheck is $1,500. Well, I mean, it wasn't universally bad. It was bad enough, bastard. So understand, even here, they're trying to shine this up and make it look as pretty as they can. They are desperately trying to shine this up and make it look as pretty as they possibly can. Make sure you all hit my likes for me here. We got almost 4,000. We got over 4,000 folks up in here. Go ahead and hit my likes. The haters are going to try to keep the numbers down. Let's go ahead and show them we're alive and well about this. This is what you all been waiting to hear. Hart's was not a universal view, it didn't need to be, but it is a worrisome sign for a president whose approval ratings are in near record lows. And it's not near record lows, it's record lows. Some black South Carolina voters who long supported Biden's campaign hold out hope for his administration. All right. The give him time constituency. Give him time. I don't like that Jason Black. He be talking about bastard baby makers and old niggas. Well, I'm a bastard baby making old nigga. And I don't like him. So Biden, we gonna give Biden time is what we gonna do. We gonna give him time. I don't like that old Jason Black. I don't like him. We gonna give him time. We gonna give Biden time. All right, Biden's going to give you time too, 5 to 10 years. Some black South Carolina voters who long supported Biden's campaign hold out hope for his administration, while those who supported him reluctantly or not at all. Those are their words, not mine. While those who supported him reluctantly or not at all say they're unimpressed. Dennis Brothers, who supported Biden, quote, from the beginning, said he felt things were going pretty well, although he is frustrated by Biden not honoring a campaign promise to cancel, not delay, some amounts of student debt. So yeah, all y'all clowns who are out there, oh, they're going to cancel our student debts. You know what? That's still not going to increase your income, but okay. Some of these fools are still chasing that one, but all right. All right. This has been a disappointment, said Brothers, a 31-year-old media specialist from Calhoun County. I just hope that some of those promises that were made are kept. In the next 3 years, Brothers said the administration should be more transparent about its goals, particularly on issues pertinent to black voters, such as a policing overhaul. Folks, the Associated Press, NBC, CNN, all the rest of them, they know black folk are not talking about no Voting Rights Act or John Lewis or any garbage like that. They know what we're talking about. They know what we're discussing. They know that our arguments and our narrative and our focus and our priorities have not changed. They know that our priorities have not changed. Not at all. So that's why they're trying to tell you, oh, black folks is concerned about Joe Biden says he wants to pass a Voting Rights Act. That's what black folks really want is a Voting Rights Act. And then when you talk to us like, no, we talking about student loan, which is really economics. Cut the check. Cut the check. By the way, when you talk about not being able to pay your student loans, cut the check. Cut the check. Yeah, every time we turn around, it's economic, cut the check. Or policing, which is to stop the militarized wings of white supremacy. The Associated Press and CNBC and CNN aren't talking about that. They don't want to talk about that. There's a reason why they keep throwing up these straw men and these lies. They don't want to talk about that. Because they're losing on these issues. And every time you talk about this, like, well, hell, doesn't this go back to what black folk have really been talking about? Because they're not really concerned about the voting rights, some Voting Rights Act. There's something else they're concerned about. Oh, we don't talk about that. Yeah, because you can't blame the Republicans for that. Because then you have to say, well, hell, you had no problem getting it done for the Asians, illegal aliens, LGBT. You had no problem getting it done for them. How is all of a sudden you can't get it done for black folk? Yeah. There you go. There it is. Well, get ready for this next part here. We know that Rome was not built in a day, Brothers said. I'm not going to say he's not trying, but I just wish he would try a little bit harder. Okay, you got to understand, there's a lot of young niggas who've been raised by a lot of old niggas, and them old niggas taught them to take an ass whooping. So when it comes to Zaddy, boy, I mean, they are front and center with the bootlicking. I mean, I'm not going to say he's not trying, but I just wish he would try a little bit harder. You see, this is the kind of fella here who will sit at his job and train the white dude that they just hired. He's been there for 10 years. He will train the white dude that they just hired to be his supervisor. And then turn around and tell everybody about what a great place it is that he works for. He just wishes that they would try harder to be fair. That's the kind of dude you got right there. Well, I ain't gonna say they ain't trying. I mean, they pays me when I shows up for work here. They don't pay me as much as the white folk here, but it allows me to drive my Nissan Sentra, and I'm glad I can do that right there. I gotta get a timing belt. But yeah, I just wish they would try a little bit harder is what I'm looking for here. Yeah, he's one of them. No insult is too great. No insult is too great for him. Next up here, Margaret Sumter, a 64-year-old rural community advocate from Hopkins, blamed the stagnation of voting rights on congressional gridlock, not inaction from Biden, who she said was discovering that the bipartisan successes he had as a longtime senator didn't necessarily translate to the presidency. Now, I got a major problem with hearing something like this. I got a major problem with that. And I'll tell you what the major problem is that I have. The major problem is that what they'll do is they'll grab one of these old niggas and sit up here and put a microphone in their faces. This is a person who is completely, if I sit here and ask them who the Secretary of State is, they couldn't tell me. If I sit here and ask them any type of basic civics question, if I ask them how many senators there are in the U.S. Senate, she wouldn't be able to tell me. If I asked her how many congressmen there are, she wouldn't be able to tell me. And if I asked her how many senators there are, she wouldn't be able to tell me. But then they want to sit up here and hold her up as some sort of authority on Senate rules and procedures. Now, that's the part I got a big ass problem with. She's not authorized nor qualified to be able to lecture you about the intricacies of the Senate, and yet they're sitting up here telling you, oh, well, she's knowledgeable about this, and that's what she says the issue is. So there's the first problem that I have with something like this. Next, of course, is take a look at how old she is. So her real thing right here is she's the only reason she wants to know about voting is so she can get more pharmaceuticals to make up for all the money she didn't make while she was working because it ain't going so well. A 64-year-old rural community advocate. That is not a job, people. That's not a job. A 64-year-old rural community advocate. That's not a job, people. Please tell me the want ad that you witnessed or signed up for that was hiring at GE or GM for a rural community advocate. Where'd you find that at? Yeah, she's a rural community advocate. What is that? What is that? 64 years old. 64. Goes on to say, quote, I think that he could push a little harder with Republicans like Mitt Romney and some of the other folks to help him get this passed, said Sumter, who backed billionaire businessman Tom Steyer during South Carolina's primary, but then voted for Biden. Yeah, she was loving Steyer talking about cut the check, until she was like, wait a minute, let me get my prescription bill. I get that though. Quote, the same thing that they're doing to him, they did it to Barack Obama, she said. Why? Do people think Republicans are going to treat him any differently because he's a white man? No. Now, folks, never mind the fact that Democrats control the House and the Senate. So that's why I'm saying, talking to this whacked out, ridiculously ignorant individual, and the Associated Press isn't pointing this out. The Democrats control the House and the Senate. The Democrats control the House and the Senate. And she's telling you about what they can't get done in the Senate. So this is what I'm saying. A person who's completely ignorant about the way the government functions, completely ignorant about the ratios necessary to do things, completely ignorant about procedures, and they're sitting up here quoting her as if she is an authority on these things. Never mind the fact that the Democrats control the House, the Senate, and the presidency. They control all three houses of government. All three. But they're sitting up here in the chat room. You're correct. She's not just a Walmart greeter. She's the equivalent of these old church niggas. Oh boy, is Jason gonna go there? Damn show right. These old church niggas. These old church niggas, when you go there and whatnot, every time you got an issue, it'll be some old bastard. I don't care what the problem is whenever a microphone becomes available, they want to sit up here and pull up their overalls and start pontificating. They just go droning off in some weird direction. They start babbling. If you got a car issue, you know you should have bought a car from my cousin Jerry over there. My cousin Jerry there, he work over there at Pontiac. Whatever your issue is always one of these old niggas with their plaid overalls on at the church. Trying to hit on the old 68-year-old deaconesses. Acting like they know every damn thing. Now, if you ask the nigga where some money is, he can't tell you nothing. Hey, I'm trying to give me a job that pays more than $7 an hour. Well, you know, I mean, you gotta work, so you gotta start somewhere there. So whenever something like that happens, they don't know anything. They just babble their way through life. And she's basically the female version of that. She doesn't really know about these things. She knows just enough to understand some of the basic jargon. But as far as what's practical and actionable, she doesn't actually know anything. But they're damn sure quoting her, aren't they? They're damn sure quoting her, aren't they? No, that's not accidental. That's not accidental. Aren't you supposed to have some credibility to be able to speak on these things? Aren't they supposed to sit up there and dig into that? No, they just want to find somebody who's going to repeat what they're having to say and make it sound like she knows what she's talking about. They want to make it seem like she knows what she's talking about. Now, they go on here to say, and by the way, stop me if this doesn't sound familiar. Others are less patient. Travis Lincoln attended Biden's first South Carolina rally in 2019 and even DJ'd a later event. Oh, Lord, DJ'd. DJ'd. I thought the fish fry was the worst thing I was going to hear. They went even further. They went even further. I mean, they're talking about the fish. Now we talking about who was the DJ. You thought the fish fry was the most embarrassing damn thing. Now we talking about he was DJing the event. Really? Let me guess. He was playing Sugar Hill Gang and the Furious Five. He was DJing the events. Okay, folks. All right. And I'm just reading what they're giving me. I'm just reading what they're giving me. Travis Lincoln attended Biden's first South Carolina rally in 2019 and even DJ'd a later event, but ultimately backed tech entrepreneur Andrew Yang in the primary. Lincoln, who runs a Columbia homeless veterans organization, supported Biden in the general election, but said he had been underwhelmed by Biden's presidency. So you notice they're not really talking to black folks who can do very much for other black people. Did you realize that? I'm not making any jokes here. I'm not doing anything like that. They're not really talking to folks who can do anything for other black people. They're talking to some folks who are just limping and struggling their way through life and whatnot. And what I'm saying is I want you to just keep that in mind. They're not talking to individuals who are economically progressive or have the ability to do anything for anybody else. We're talking about community activists, rural activists, homeless shelter activists, no entrepreneurs, no middle class, upper middle class folk. That's it. A bunch of elderly black folk, middle-aged black folk whose money ain't right, don't really have a grasp or understanding of the issues or agenda, and that's who they're promoting to us as the folks who need to be listened to. And it isn't because the Associated Press doesn't know better, it's because they're trying to create a narrative. They're going to say here, quote, his campaign sold us on the idea that he was going to support some black issues. Now, did you read that? So the guy they're talking to here, once again, this is what Professor Black Truth has always warned us about. This guy isn't even insisting on a true black agenda. He's just happy to have some crumbs flicked off the table. And once some white folk are in his face talking to him, he just sits here and admits, well, I mean, Biden told us he was going to support some black issues. I mean, that's as much courage as this coward can muster. His campaign sold us on the idea that he was going to support some black issues. And that's not really happened. That's not really happened. That's not really happened. Not really happened. All right. Said Lincoln 44. The people that were in his corner thought that was going to be the best move for him. It was more political strategy than anything. On voting rights, Lincoln said he saw the effort as doomed from the start due to known Republican opposition. Instead, he argued Biden should have focused on other issues where progress could have been possible, such as expunging nonviolent drug-related offenses. One moment. Pepto-Bismol. Oh boy, a tablespoon ain't gonna do me. Yeah, I just got to swig this for a moment. A tablespoon ain't gonna hold me. Please hold for this brief intermission. All right, I think I can make it now. Yeah. Of all the pressing issues that we got. Yeah. Of all the pressing issues that we have. I mean, this fella here is, he's just off in his own little thing. What Biden needs to focus on is expunging nonviolent drug-related offenses. See, this is the other game they play. As if the biggest issue facing black folk is every black person got a criminal record. And they know the damn game that they're playing. As folk with criminal records they make that one of their priorities is the basic liberties they've been denied. So it's like, okay, well, folks, you expunge their criminal record first, and they want to do is start voting because their lawyers tell them that, well, this wouldn't have happened if the laws were different. So what they do is they go off and then prioritize, well, I got to vote for somebody who's going to change the laws. Remember, folks who need stuff expunged, they spend a disproportionate amount of time being wrapped up in the judicial system, and they get it beaten into their heads that they need to change the law, change the law, change the law. We need to change the law. Got to change the law. Laws got to be changed. Change the law, change the law. So the moment they get a chance to get something done, they get real focused on the political process. They realize people who spend a disproportionate amount of time involved in the judicial system also tend to spend a disproportionate amount of time involved in the political process to change laws. So it becomes very, very easy for these dishonest politicians to run up on them and tell them, well, vote for me, we're going to change these laws. And then, of course, nothing changes. Please remember, Terry McAuliffe went on a supposed spree in Virginia, expunging records all over the damn place. Who's the governor of Virginia now? Youngkin. So just understand, this is a long-term strategy for the Democrats. Illegals. Everything is focused on, well, who's going to vote? Who's going to vote? This isn't a black political agenda. This is a Democrat political agenda. In the chat room, you're correct. Angela Stanton. I didn't want to say her name. But you know what? Go ahead. Angela Stanton. Yeah. All Trump had to do was help her, and she's become, in the words of Brett Pulley, eternally grateful. So now it doesn't matter what he does. She's eternally grateful now. And that's all it took. Now she's eternally grateful. So this is the same game they keep playing. They keep telling you that the Democrat agenda is the black agenda. Getting more people to vote for them that's the only goal black people should have, is more people to vote for them. That's it. But that you don't have an issue. Your only issue is being able to come out and vote. But vote for what? So he said Biden should have focused on other issues where progress could have been possible, such as expunging nonviolent drug-related offenses, an issue on which Biden campaigned but has not taken executive action. Well, you see, Biden has only taken executive actions for gays, illegals, and Asians. He's made sure not to do any such thing where black people are concerned. No, he's only concerned about gays, illegals, and Asians. Where black people are concerned, he's saying what he has always said: kiss his ass. Now, they're going to say here, Rashad, is that Rashad or Rashad? Okay, Rashad Frazier Gaines co-founded Amplify Action, a nonprofit that focus people. Okay. I'm just saying, have you noticed this is what the Associated Press thinks? The Associated Press thinks that all black folks are working for nonprofits. All black people are community activists. All black people are working for some nonprofit agency somewhere. There are no black people who are actually formally employed. I didn't say formally employed, actually employed at a real business or actually run a real business like the rest of the society. Not somebody who actually holds a real job or runs a real business. Everybody's a community activist, community organizer, rural community this, nonprofit this, that, and the other. Every time we turn around. So this is who the Associated Press is holding up as representing black people in the black vote. They didn't come ask any of you. Now, did they? There are literally thousands and thousands of you listening and watching right now. They didn't come ask any of you, did they? No, they probably ignored most of you and then cherry-picked a few folks to say, this is who represents Biden. This is who represents the black vote. But they didn't come ask any of you. Now, did they? No. And that wasn't accidental. Now it says Rashad Frazier Gaines co-founded Amplify Action, a nonprofit that focuses on political engagement of black men, and voted for it. Now, I don't like that either, by the way. Let me stop right there. I don't like this bull crap either. Let me be very, very clear about this. I don't like this type of bull crap when I hear it being focused in one way or the other. This divide and conquer mess. This is not about black men or black women. We are black people. You don't get any type of special dispensation for yourself. This is the crap that they've been selling black women on for all this damn time. Now here comes this jackass. No. There is only a black agenda, period. There is no gender to it. The truth be told, there's no sexuality to it. When you show up and you are black, that is all folk want to know. So this idea, folks, on political engagement of black men, no, there's no, it's not a black male agenda, it's black people's agenda. So this is garbage and bullcrap when they try with black females, and it's garbage and bullcrap when they try with black males either. No, it is not. This is not what we need. So let me just say, no, thumbs down on this immediately. Thumbs down on this right out the gate. And furthermore, if you, to the extent that you are focusing on, quote, political engagement of black men to do what? For what? That's the first thing I'm asking. The political engagement of black men, you all want to have you founded a nonprofit to get black men to do what exactly? Well, listen to the next sentence. Rashad Frazier co-founded Amplify Action and voted for Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders in South Carolina's primary. In Frazier Gaines' view, Biden has talked far more than delivered. So let me get this straight. This fella here voted for Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders, who was the first one out the gate talking about ain't no reparations. There's no need for it. Reparations is off the damn table. Love that crime bill. And this guy found Bernie Sanders to be acceptable. No, he didn't want Biden. He wanted Sanders. Yeah. Goes on to say, black people are the reason Joe Biden is president. And I don't feel that there has been one time that he's ever shown us a thank you by way of policy, said Frazier Gaines. Yes, his administration has given a lot of talented black people opportunities to serve in different positions. All of that is cute, but that's not doing anything to put food on the table of black families across the country. Well, at least he did speak about the symbolism here. I know the Associated Press must have been sick to death. They probably had to filter out 98% of what these people had to say to try to cherry pick some statements, and it's still not coming across very well. Yeah, you can't really rewrite that one. Yeah, they put up window dressing and symbolic Negro tokens, but you're not doing anything for the masses. You're giving a few black folk the opportunity to intern for you and then saying that's doing something for black folk. No, it's not. They go on to say here, still, Biden has retained the support of Representative Jim Clyburn. They keep talking about Jim Clyburn as if he is some political super titan. That's the crazy part. They keep invoking this old nigga like he's some type of political master up there. Like this guy is some kingmaker. Like if Jim Clyburn shows up, you get elected. They keep talking about him as if that's the case. And that's a damn lie. The only person whose political fortunes Jim Clyburn has been able to ensure has been his own, at least up until now. But this idea that Jim Clyburn is some political kingmaker, and if you're on the good side of Jim Clyburn, good things shall come. Get the hell out of here. Rather than fault Biden about voting rights, Clyburn has focused his criticism on the two Democrats who doomed the legislation, Senators Joe Manchin of West Virginia and Kristen Sinema of Arizona. Bree Maxwell, a Democratic National Committee member, dismissed the criticism that Biden had been anything but authentic with the state's black voters. Quote, I don't think he would have wasted all this time just for it to be lip service, said Maxwell. I think he's very genuine, and I think he wants to keep everybody happy. I don't think he would have wasted all this time just to be lip service. Let's be very, very clear. Folks, understand how the game is played. First, what they're going to tell you is that Biden didn't have enough Democrat votes to get anything done for black people. Now, that wasn't a problem for Asians, gays, illegals, aliens, humpback whales, Bolivian cockroaches. All of them could get anything that they needed here. Martians, Venusians. he's been able to get anything for anybody else. But for black folk, there are never enough senators, never enough congressmen. Why? The only way we could get something passed for black people is if we had 120 votes in the Senate. Yeah. I know there's only 100 senators, but we can't get this bill passed into law that's actually going to do something for black folk unless we have 120 senators. We got to get 120 senators to approve. We got to get 120 Senate votes. If we can get that, we can get it through for you. So let's be very clear. That's the game that they play. So here's the way it works. First, when the Democrats are in the minority, they tell you, well, we can't get anything passed because the Republicans control the House or the Senate or the presidency or all three. So if more of you come out and vote for us, we can get back the House and the Senate and the White House, and then we can actually get some things done for you. So then you come out here and you do everything they told you, and next thing you know, not only did you give them the control of the House, you gave them control of the Senate, and you gave them the White House. Now they're telling you, oh, we don't have enough votes in the House or the Senate. Yeah, I mean, we have a majority, but we need more than just a majority. We gotta have a lot more. So even after you gave them what they said they wanted, if you can put a Democrat in the White House, things gonna happen. If we had control of the House of Representatives, things will happen. If we had control of the Senate, things gonna happen. As soon as they get that, they tell you, oh, we don't have enough control. Then they sit up here and do things for everybody else, but just not for you. Then they end up losing control of the House and the Senate or the presidency. And then what do they tell you? Oh, hell, we right back where the hell we started. You know, we need your help to get back control of the House and the Senate. We can't do nothing for yous if we don't have control of the House or the Senate. Now, amazingly enough, the Republicans don't have control of the House or the Senate, and yet you're telling us the Republicans can get whatever they want. So if the Republicans are in a minority, maybe we need Mitch McConnell to be in charge of getting the black agenda through. I don't know. If Mitch McConnell's able to get so much done in the minority, maybe we need to be getting Mitch McConnell to get through the black agenda, since clearly the Democrats are incapable, incompetent to be able to do so. Maybe that's what's missing. But you all see the treadmill they put you on. First, they tell you they don't have enough people they don't have enough Democrats in office to be able to get what they need for you. Then when you give them enough, they tell you, oh, we don't have enough. And then when you say, well, screw this, we don't care what happens next, they lose control of the House or the Senate. Then they come back and tell you, oh, we need your help to get back control. If we could just get control of the House or the Senate, we can make some things happen. And then the cycle starts all over again. But the mantra never changes. It doesn't matter what you do, they're going to keep telling you it's never enough to get something for black people. It's enough for everybody else. It's never enough for you. No, we can't do any executive actions for you. Asians, no problem. Black folk, no. Can't do nothing for you. Every time you turn around, these procedural hurdles are they never go to Asians or gays or Jewish people and tell them that these procedural hurdles are preventing them from doing something for them. They only bring up procedural hurdles. You only get this long explanation of civics and the inner workings of the House and Senate when it comes to black people. All of a sudden, it becomes this big, long technical explanation. You know, just like when it comes to the police gunning down black people. Well, you don't understand. See, a grand jury, when a grand jury comes together, what happens is a grand jury. Well, the prosecuting attorney, the district attorney, you see what it is. Well, we might have to run this by the Second Circuit Court judge, and the attorney general of the state can come through, and then... Okay, as soon as black folk turned up about George Floyd, oh hell, no, we can get them indicted today. Y'all burning everything down. Okay, we can get them indicted. We can get them indicted this afternoon, as a matter of fact. Yeah, we sure can. This afternoon, they can get indicted. Yeah. They're indicted. Okay, not just that. Okay, we can get them convicted. We can get them convicted right now. Ain't gonna be no appeals. No, convicted right now. That's it. They're gone. When it comes to black people, having a nice civil conversation doesn't seem to work. But they can get things done when you start insisting by other means. Now, isn't that amazing? No, it's not accidental. This is the game that they're playing. And that's why I told you all, our right to live is not up for a vote. Our right to survive is not up for a democratic debate. They go on to say, satisfied that Biden, whom he supported in the primary and worked to get elected, is doing a good job overall, veteran civil rights activist, this never-ending parade of marginally employed or unemployed Negroes and volunteers, all right, no people who have control of economic value or anything, nothing like that, all right. Veteran civil rights activist James Felder blamed not the president, but almost obstructionists Manchin and Sinema for the voting rights failure. Quote, it's really a setback for the party and it's a setback for the country as well, said Felder. 82! 82! Do you think that he has anything in common with Gen X, millennials? Do you think he has any frame of reference or any interest whatsoever in what is affecting anybody under the age of 50? 82. And he's trying to act like he's the host of Meet the Press. And let me tell you about the inner workings of government and Kristen Sinema and Manchin. This fella probably can't even tell you how many kids he got by how many different women. But he can tell you about Manchin and Sinema, almost obstructionists. Do you understand this? 82. And trying to lecture you about who's an obstructionist. 82. This is who the Associated Press decided needs to speak for black people in their article. 82. An octogenarian. And if you don't know what an octogenarian is, look it up. 82. He could have dated Cicely Tyson. 82. And let me tell you, if I make it to 82, I ain't going to be talking all this almost obstructionist mess. I'm going to leave it right at the feet of the people responsible. I'm not going to play no damn political games. He says it's really a setback for the party and it's a setback for the country as well, said Felder. 82. 2 votes and 2 people holding up all the progress that we could make at this point. This is an old nigga that doesn't understand anything and could never be bothered to learn. It's not 2 senators holding this up because it wasn't 2 senators, 2 representatives, or 2 anything else that was holding anything up for Asians. This is the fact that whenever we discuss black people, about anything of substance for black people, and this Voting Rights Act is not about black people, by the way, but anytime that this is about telling people that we cannot focus on a black agenda. That's what this is about. This is about telling black people that we cannot focus on a black agenda. That's what they're telling you. That any time that we need to steer the national political discussion towards the needs and interests of black people, it just can't be done. We just can't do it. Doesn't matter what the subject is, what the issue is, what the topic is. We just can't focus on anything involving black people. Just can't do it. So there's always an excuse. Always another lie. Always. They go on to say that to Sumter, Biden is doing as well as could be expected and has achieved some real change, such as the enhanced child tax credit. No, you see the words on your screen. This guy is saying that Biden has gotten some real things, some real change. Such as the enhanced child tax credit. You know when they talking to these old marginally employed niggas who need some help. They got probably got a grandson or something with a bunch of damn kids out there and whatnot, or granddaughters. Okay, yes, I got to say it like it is. Black people aren't sitting there. Every black person is not concerned about having a criminal record or paying for the bastard kids that they had by some degenerate who was featured on Maury Povich. Yeah, I said it. The Maury Povich audience does not represent black people. Black folk aren't sitting around here just because you got a few of them over there that they're talking about. Black folk are not just sitting around trying to figure out if somebody can give them a subsidy to take care of their illegitimate kids, child tax credit and whatnot. Black folk are concerned about real substantive change. Understand something? They don't talk to Asians like this. They don't talk to Jewish people like this. Hell, they don't even talk to Latinos like this. They always go and find some old nigga who always been struggling and scrapping and scraping, never could get their money right, and then tell they got their kids messed up in the game too, and then come and tell the rest of us that's what we need to all be focused on. Well, you know, we gotta get that criminal record expunged. We gotta get that body count down. We need some help to feed the children. No, some more food stamps will help folks struggling out here. Nigga, you've been struggling since 1972. You're never gonna get fixed. Because you don't have a priority that actually fixes anything. So that's why he's worried about his kids and grandkids. Well, you know, we need some child tax credit right now. How about getting a workplace skill? How about that? How about getting an actionable skill so that you don't have to worry about tax credits? How about that? Well, that's hard to do right there. Maybe if you knock the damn video game controller out of her hands, or get Pookie, Ray, Mike, Lil Slug. Get them dudes off your granddaughter. Maybe she won't need a child tax credit. I don't know. I'm just throwing out ideas here. Maybe if you stop laying up with catfish and cornbread, maybe them dudes, you wouldn't need to worry about this. Okay, I'm on a rant. He's living up to what I expected him to be able to do, Sumter said. There's only so much that a person can accomplish in that first year. These old niggas are a broken record. They're just going to say this forever, okay? This is what I told y'all. Look, you can't expect nothing from these old niggas. They're just going to say the same old stupidity over and over again. That's it. That's all they're going to do. That's it. Nothing else. It's just going to be the same old broken record forever. It doesn't matter how stupid, it doesn't matter how moronic, it doesn't matter how ignorant. It will be the same thing over and over. That's all. So while the rest of us are focused on real substantive issues, they're still sitting up here trying to shake awake the elderly and failed. Old niggas still working for the community center. Been there forever. Driving his 1978 Ford F-150 with the carburetor. Fuel injection is for fancy folks. Okay, but for the rest of us who are not interested in a quiet death and are actually interested in actually having a better life going forward and having given up, yeah, this doesn't work for us. So this is why, just understand, the Associated Press went out and basically trawled through the senior citizens home and the temp worker agencies and grabbed up every damn thing they could. And this is what they came out with. And you wonder why Biden's numbers are cratering. Because those folks in that article do not represent black people as a group, damn sure don't represent young black people. They're just trying to hold on as long as they can. And it's getting worse. It's getting worse. Go ahead and try that, see if it works out for you. But we're not done. We are not done. No, I've got even more. Before we do, we are going to take a very brief non-commercial break. I want to thank everyone who has contributed to support tonight's program on PayPal or CashApp. My man Andrew L., we are wide awake with both eyes. You better believe it. My man Mr. Richburg, I see you out there. Donzale, I appreciate your support as well. And to everyone who has contributed to support tonight's program on PayPal or CashApp, we appreciate that. We are going to take a very brief non-commercial break. When we come back, an update on Kamala Harris in all of this. If you thought it was bad for old slow Joe, wait till you figure out how Kamala is doing. Ski-wee ain't got nothing on me. This is the Black Channel.
Join sixzeros.net, a forum built to discuss all things relevant to black people. On our form, a check doesn't mean you're famous. It means your blackness has been verified by our staff.
Sorry, Chad.
We also have premium merchandise with same-day shipping on most orders. And when you're ready for some dope content, check out the 0 Hour blog.
Don't just sign up, post.
I'm having a really good time with you tonight.
I'm having a good time with you too.
Want to go somewhere private? Just for us?
I like that.
Great. Meet me at 6zeros.net. Black owned, black operated.
The white supremacists use division as a weapon, dividing our families, our wealth, rewarding traitors, murdering heroes. Yet we survived. We fought for our reparations. Now it's our turn to divide and administer God's power. I am Agent Nuria Sellers, a foundational Black American. I promise that nothing will come between us. Buy the sci-fi novel, Nothing Will Come Between Us, available January 22nd. Pre-order online today at Amazon and Google Play. SpiritOf1811Publishing.com. Our story, our family.
Hi, this is Brenda Starr, creator of Poetry with a Purpose and author of the book Pressed But Not Crushed. Pressed But Not Crushed is an anthology of political poems that address current and historical issues in American descendants of slave population and African American population. The book describes slaveries and its residuals, Jim Crow segregation, social depredation, and other relevant issues to American descendants of slaves and African Americans, including the current political climate that does not address our issues.
The future of legal betting is finally here. Place a bet using CashApp with Bitcoin right over the phone. Unlike with traditional gambling sites, every bet you place with us, you're guaranteed a 50% probability of winning. All of our bets are one-on-one against a real person and never the house. We offer some of the most unique bets in the industry. Bets like, will LeBron James win his 5th NBA title? Will Joe Biden be elected for a second term? Will Tesla be worth $1 trillion by the end of 2022? You can even bet on if it will rain tomorrow. You can literally bet on any future event. Text the phrase I bet to the number on the screen, and I'll reply with a list of all our available bets.
Are you tired of being overcharged and forced into paying a monthly subscription for your Mac and Windows software? Well, if you are, currently we're having a 50% off discount on all the latest Mac and Windows software, such as AutoCAD, SolidWorks, Photoshop, Microsoft Office, and much more. Our 50% off discount will be ending soon, so be sure to text us NEED SOFTWARE to 323-407-8214. That's 323-407-8214. We aim to please, so expect 24/7 technical support, the latest premium software, instant software links delivered to your email, and PayPal's buyer's protection guarantee.
This is the Black Channel. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the Black Authority. Very glad to be with you all here this evening as we are discussing about how for the Democrats here, Biden's black support is collapsing. They were not reporting on this before. We have remained steadfast. And even though in 2020 people were doubting us, nobody's doubting us today. And even the most diehard Biden butt kissers are having to concede defeat at this point. They're all hiding with paper bags over their heads. They don't want to show themselves. It is accumulating. And now that we're entering an election year for the midterm elections, all of a sudden now the media is starting to get surprisingly honest about the plight in which they find themselves. They are starting to get surprisingly, shockingly honest about how bad things are going for them. And just in case you thought to yourselves, well, Biden's in trouble, but don't worry, old Kamala Harris, at least she gonna be alright. I know some of you old niggas out there, that's one of those things they know. If you were part of one of these civic organizations, you basically had to stay married to that, didn't you? I mean, you basically had to stay married to it. So you get some of these old Elk Lodge and Masons and Eastern Stars and whatnot. And then you got your fraternities and sororities. Okay, they figure, okay, well, they'll just hang in there. Well, it's going to be a rough year for y'all too. Going to be rough for you too, because if you go over and take a look at what's happening on Kamala Harris's page here, you go over there on Twitter, go see what she's doing. Well, why don't we go ahead and take a peek around? First of all she can do now is sit up here and isn't it rough knowing that you don't really have a future at this? This has got to be rough on her. I mean, she bet the farm. She laid up with Willie Brown of all people. Y'all think y'all got some exes that you'd like to forget? Kamala Harris got Willie Brown on her sexual rap sheet. So, all right. Be that as it may, Kamala is sitting up here pimping whatever for whoever now. What does she want to talk about here? Maternal morbidity. Okay. And of course, now I want you to watch something here. Now, there's something here in particular. There's a reason why I brought you here and why I want you to watch this. I want you to see this for a moment here. Now, you notice on your screen for maternal health facts, take a look there in the middle. It specifically points out black women and Native American women. Now, my ears go up when I hear that, especially when I start hearing demographics that we had never heard of before. Up until now, who was really concerned? Who was really talking about? I'm not saying that we shouldn't be concerned. Of course, you should be concerned. But Native American women, all of a sudden, how did this get shoehorned in when before now we weren't hearing anything? Because when I start looking for something that usually black people are usually the ones who are most affected by it, and then all of a sudden when they throw somebody else into it, that usually becomes the method by which they completely ignore black people. So black women are more than 3 times as likely to die from pregnancy than white women, and Native American women are more than 2 times as likely to die from pregnancy than white women. Isn't this very amazing? Wasn't it the Native Americans, most of whom were black actually? Wasn't it black people who taught white folk how to not die from pregnancy back when pregnancy routinely killed women? So how is it that the people who instructed the Europeans on how not to die from pregnancy all of a sudden are dying more than the people of European descent are? How in the hell did history flip like this? I just got a few questions, that's all. Every time you go to the hospital, they're trying to get you to take a C-section. I just couldn't help but notice that. And as we all know, once you start doing C-sections, if they can get you to do that first C-section, and it's like, oh, we've already limited how many children you can have. If we can get you to do that one. But by the way, I just thought I'd point it out. Just thought I would point that out, by the way. Well, Kamala Harris here, you go down the list. It's, he's swore in Mark Brzezinski. Okay. So just in case you all thought you were through with the name Brzezinski, think again. Think again. Zbigniew, Mika, meet Mark. All right. We are handing out 400 million non-surgical N95 masks. Don't look out there in California. They had $10 million of PPE equipment that was left out in the damn rain and basically is no good. So $10 million of PPE equipment in Los Angeles. You all can go look that story up if you want to there. Well, she's focused on important things. We gotta fight the virus. Gotta get that body count down. Fight the virus. Okay, so this is what she's concerned about here. Yeah, kind of all over the place. Oh, look. Roe v. Wade. For a woman who can't have children is worried about Roe v. Wade. All right, there you go. Oh, Roe v. Wade again. Okay, gotta keep them body counts down. As a daughter of California, I know the devastation that wildfires bring. Yeah, especially the fire camp. Attorney General Harris who made sure that people stayed basically doing indentured servitude on the fire camps out there to be able to fight the wildfires to save the rich white folks' homes out there and whatnot. Yeah, Attorney General Harris. Yeah, she knows all about the devastation of wildfires. She devastated plenty of people's lives with the fire camps and keeping people in prison so they could fight the wildfires and save her and her rich friends' homes out there. Amazing. Amazing. The best time to fight a wildfire is before it starts. She should know. Our administration is committed to protecting communities by investing in wildfire preparedness. Got to keep them rich white folks' homes going now. Got to keep them there. We don't want them all leaving to Texas. Don't want them all running to Texas. Well, everything here seems to be pretty much standard. Boy, I mean, she was tweeting her ass off between the 21st and the 22nd, wasn't she? I mean, you thought Trump was bad. Oh, Kamala Harris was just, up, tweeting. All right. Well, glad there was nothing. Oh, wait a minute, what's this? Wait a minute. What is this? What is this I spy? Since January 2021, the Biden-Harris administration has delivered an historic $5.8 billion cumulative investment in and support for HBCUs. In September, the VP visited Hampton University. Hampton's one of the few schools that I think is actually running itself correctly, by the way, where she met Jordan and discussed her educational journey in the biological sciences. Hampton University is actually one of the few HBCUs that I will actually say is actually being run somewhat correctly. It's one of the few I can actually say isn't an unmitigated disaster. But I gotta take a look at this number here. They have delivered $5.8 billion in cumulative investment in and support for HBCUs. Whoa, that sounds like trick language. Investment and support. What the hell is support? Support? What is support? And $5 billion, is there anybody who has seen $5 billion of quote-unquote investment in HBCUs? $5 billion. $5 billion. I'm trying to see where the $5 billion has been, quote, delivered. Delivered where? $5 billion? Okay. So they go and find a photogenic young lady. Let's go make a video. Not hard on the eyes, and let's see what we can do to point this out. Yeah, they know how to sell themselves. The next generation, they make sure is like, okay, they didn't go find some Tarana Burke looking chick. They didn't go find that now, did they? Yeah, they know what they're doing. No, don't ask where the money went. Don't ask where it went. Just trust us, we delivered it. Don't ask where it went. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out, these schools are probably trying to figure out, well, $5 billion, that shouldn't be very hard to find. Very hard to find. Very hard to find. Now, take a look at this. Now, if you'll notice, these two stories here came one after the other. Before she posted about the HBCU, before she posted about delivering $5 billion to HBCUs, which we still can't account for, before she posted that, take the cotton out your damn ears, before she posted about that, she posted this. Interesting. I just found this to be interesting. President Biden and Vice President Harris took historic action to invest in tribal communities in their first year in office. Ali met with Vice President Harris to talk about the important work of strengthening voting rights for tribal communities. Voting rights for tribal communities? I thought they were a separate nation. So let me get this straight. Let me get this straight now. This supposed John Lewis Voting Rights Act, supposedly, y'all are talking about voting rights, and the discussion is oddly changing. Now, the more you talk about this, the more you listen, the more you're like, wait a minute, we're talking about Native Americans now? Many of whom are white folk, but by the way, I just want to point this out to you all. Let's not get into the detritus either of anything else. By the way, let's be very, very clear. Voting rights for tribal nations, but I thought they were separate nations. I thought they were dealt with differently. I thought they were whole separate nations. What are we doing here? What are we talking about? And by the way, she posted this before she posted about HBCUs. She posted this before she got to them. So on her timeline, this video here about tribal communities actually came first. The Native American vote isn't even big enough to be able to count, and yet they want you to know that's what their focus is. So when they talk about this stuff and Voting Rights Act and all this garbage, that's what they're talking about there. That's what they're talking about. Understand that. Not a joke and not a game. None of this happens accidentally. When you see this kind of stuff occurring, it is deliberate. It is deliberate. It is calculated. They know what they're doing. No. Every time you hear about these voting rights acts, it's for understand who it's really for and what it's really about. In the chat room, you said the Space Force is out there looking for new voters. Yeah, they're probably trying to get to Mars now. You know what? We can include you Martians in the Voting Rights Act. You know, if you sign up now, if there's any Martians here, we ready to count you. We don't want you to be. You are a disenfranchised community over here with Marvin the Martian. You are disenfranchised, underserved. Y'all need a McDonald's. Okay, now they're trying to beat their drum here. I'm like, okay, how in the hell did this woman ever win an election anywhere being this damn inept? Who's in charge of her Twitter account? Over 200 million Americans fully vaccinated. 6.4 million jobs added. As if anybody's short for a job now. Passed the American Rescue Plan. You mean the American Rescue Plan? The American Rescue Plan. You mean this American Rescue Plan? Are you referring to this American Rescue Plan? By the way, is this the one you're talking about, Vice President Harris? The one that now says that all of you Generation CashApp and Generation OnlyFans, yeah, you was doing a little bit of extra money, doing a little extra something for some money. Yeah, now they told PayPal and Cash App and Zelle and Venmo and all of them, by the way, anybody making any money on OnlyFans or anything else, anything over $600, if you are making more than enough money to pay half the rent, we need to report this to the IRS. You won't even get a chance to hide it. They're going to report to the IRS for you. And as you can see, this was buried in the American Rescue Plan Act, which the politicians, Harris is sitting up here telling you, oh, that was about COVID. It was about COVID. That was all about COVID. Yeah, this was buried in there. A rider on the bill that allows them to report to the IRS if you're making any money. Basically, if you're making any money on any of these internet transfer services. So all the chicks over there on OnlyFans, I know y'all are panicking your asses off right now. The thong budget just took a hit. The slingshot budget just took, the tricking off budget just took a hit, is what happened. Yeah, you woke up and found out that your girl, Ski Wee, she's like, oh, you a member of the middle class now. $600? You're a member of the middle class now. Yeah. Oh, don't worry. We're going to find a way to tax it. Yeah, we ain't taxing their drugs just yet. We're not taxing their Bitcoin just yet. We're getting you. Yeah, we're getting you, and you voted for it. Amazing. Amazing. And she's on the line bragging about it. But how many of you even knew that, by the way, when you talk about that American Rescue Plan, yeah, that gives them the ability to do that, which means that later they're going to try to push to be able to get your banking information. If you got anything $600 or more in the bank, we want them to report that too. So they're taking it in bites. First, they're going after the internet money transfer services. They're going to come back around. They tried it with the banks before. That got shut down. They're just letting you know, okay, we're going to eat this elephant one bite at a time. We're going to come back. We're going to come back. We're going to come back. We'll be back for that. We'll be back for your banking information next. They know what they're doing. Pass the bipartisan infrastructure law. Infrastructure, highways, which is how they usually demolish black communities. We've accomplished a lot in the last year. Nothing for black folk here. Boy, I'm telling you. Don't these two look like an odd-ass couple? This doesn't even have chemistry. There is no chemistry here. Come on now. They don't even look like they like each other. There is no chemistry. This is the oddest. She looks like the oddest ass-kissing assistant you ever saw. There's no chemistry here. Give it up. Give it up. All right, then you throw some black folk out there and whatnot, and we're going to go find us a single mom or whatever. She's looking real single mom-ish. Fake hair all over the damn place. Drawn on eyelashes. I'm telling you, this is how they present black folk. The struggle is real. Reporting to you live from Struggle Street. 3 generations of women in the Jackson household were all impacted by the Biden-Harris administration over the past year. So, reporting to you live from Struggle Street. Can't even read the damn thing right. So, okay. We need a child tax credit. No, you need a job. Last year, Jason's so mean. He's so mean. Last year, when the president and I took office, we were in the midst of multiple unprecedented crises. We ain't still there. We ain't still there. All right, let Harris tell the tale. We're not still there. Because just a couple of weeks ago, you were telling us we were still there. We need to get everybody strapped down to a table and force them to take the needles. So, all right. Last year, when the president and I took office, we were in the middle of multiple unprecedented crises. Thanks to the resilience of the American people, we've accomplished a lot in the last year, and we still have more to do. So what does this tell you? This is part of the White House's messaging here. They know that people don't really feel like they've done anything. Their numbers are cratering. So what they've said is that we've done a lot. We just need to let more people know. We just got to tell them. It isn't that people don't know what you have posted on the screen, ma'am. It's what people are saying is that this doesn't matter. And you are not going to sit up here and play the Jedi mind trick and tell people that what you're posting on the screen matters. They've told you what matters. And this doesn't matter. They don't care about this. They don't care about this. You know what it is that black people want. You know what it is that black people prioritize. You know what it is that we're looking for. So you can continue attempting to talk around the issue all you'd like. You can attempt to deflect and avoid the issue all you would like. This is not going to fix your problem. You're not going to be able to talk around this. In November of 2020, I was steadfast and stalwart about this. I never wavered. I never changed. I never altered what I said. I have been completely consistent throughout, nonstop. I've never changed it, and it will not change now. I told you then that the fundamental math, the fundamental metrics, the fundamental arithmetic has changed. The calculus has fundamentally changed. That there is a black agenda and more people are on board than ever, which is why they were panicking when we talked about black folk not voting. They panicked, and then there were some folks who got confused, they got misled, they got hoodwinked. Some of y'all fell for the head fake. Let's just go ahead and just be honest with yourself for a moment. Some of you fell for the head fake. When you saw Biden win the 2020 election, you fell for the head fake, and you're like, oh no, I told you then, no, this was just a relapse. Keep your eyes open. It's just, Jason just don't want to accept that he was wrong. He just don't want to accept that he was wrong about that. That's the problem right there. You just don't want to accept that you were wrong. Where are those people now? Go ahead. Tell me. Where are those people now? Can you find any of those individuals now? Can anyone locate any of those people today to come back and explain how you ended up where you are now? The numbers have cratered. The situation is dire, and one election is coming, and the prospects don't look like they're getting any better. Donald Trump is already back out on the campaign trail. Lindsey Graham is on Fox News saying that the Republicans need to figure out how to work with Trump because if he wants to run again in 2024, he will be the front runner. Although I am more predicting it's going to be DeSantis. Keep your eye on DeSantis, and I will tell you this, a Trump-DeSantis ticket can't lose. A Trump-DeSantis ticket can't lose. Let's just be very, very clear about that. A Trump-DeSantis ticket, you might as well go ahead and start measuring the drapes in the Oval Office. A Trump-DeSantis ticket can't lose. Keep your eyes and ears open for that. Keep your eyes and ears open. Or, like I say, they'll probably find some white female. Now, there's the other thing, like Nikki Haley or something like that. Trump and Nikki Haley, they'll find some hardcore right-wing female. One who is technically, categorically not Caucasian. They'll do that. So be aware of it. It'll be theirs to lose. You get Trump out there, he's going to go grab somebody who's a little less crazy to be his vice presidential running mate. And just understand, it'll be theirs to lose. It'll be theirs to lose. So just mark my words. And by the way, you all know I've been saying it for years now about DeSantis. I've been saying it for years now. I've been talking about it for years. I've been expressing for years about that, and I've never wavered, and here we are. So if you want to be behind the curve, go listen to Roland Martin. You can go bootlick over there. If you want to be current with things, but not ahead of it, I wouldn't even advise you to listen to the media. I would just tell you to listen to it and then go research. But if you want to be ahead of the curve, if you want to be ahead of the events, if you want to preempt things, this is the place where we do that. And yes, our accuracy rating is astonishingly high. So folks, stick with me. Stick with me. And if you're loving what you're hearing here, make sure you like the program. Make sure you share the program. I want to thank all of you who have contributed to tonight's program on PayPal or Cash App. It is very much appreciated. If you are new here to the Black Channel, welcome to the haven of intelligent black thought. We do this every weekend, over 132,000 subscribers and rising. We are not a little thing. We are the Black Media. Click that red subscribe button. Click that yellow notification bell. Be counted amongst our numbers. YouTube does have us under a shadow ban, which is why it is more important than ever that you like the program, so that you can see our like numbers, so that people can see this isn't a little thing. And especially make sure you subscribe. It is fantastic to be able to aggregate all these numbers in one place. Check your subscription status also. Check to make sure they did not unsubscribe you. YouTube plays dirty. So what they do is they go in and they involuntarily unsubscribe people from this channel. So if you have been subscribed before, go back and do a real quick check and make sure you're still subscribed, and if they didn't take you off of it. You're going to want to keep up to date with everything that's going on, especially through this year with the midterms, and see if everything shakes out exactly the way that we told you it was going to be. And if you haven't been to our website, BlackChannelFilms.com, you want to go there and check out our groundbreaking best-selling documentary work, 7 a.m., Gentrified, Race War, all available on DVD, on streaming, on Amazon. Go to BlackChannelFilms.com. That is BlackChannelFilms.com. And this concludes tonight's broadcast of The Black Channel. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the Black Authority. And until next time, my brothers and my sisters from around the world, remember, black is the future, and the future is uncompromising.